Hello, everyone. I'm super excited today. I've got a very inspiring lady with me. In fact, the profession she's in is very different from anyone else. Some capture moments in pictures, some in words, but she holds them, freezes them in time, and gives them a forever. So I have with me the founder of First Impressions, Bhavna Jasra. She's a chief life casting artist, and it's amazing to have her with me today. Thank you, Bhavna, for doing this podcast with me and taking out some time to do this candid chat. So I would like to get right down to it. Why this profession? It's something totally different from anyone who would choose today. A little bit on that and a little background about your brief and your life.
Hi, Siddharth, and hello to everybody who's going to be watching this podcast. I'm delighted to share my, stories with you guys because it's been the most beautiful and enriching journey. And so, yes, I'm happy to be on your podcast to share my story.
Thank you.
So, to address your first question, is why this art? People go for a particular skill or an education because they want to be in that streamline of work. I have no such claims to make. The art chose me.
Okay.
I was doing something completely different. I'm a postgraduate in microbiology. I was pursuing a marketing career. I was doing fundraising and dabbling in so many different professional areas, but the art decided that it was the right time to enter my life. And I was actually pregnant with my daughter,
Okay.
and we traveled to the UK to do some baby shopping, really. And I chanced upon the art, and the rest is history.
Okay. But I'm sure, when you start anything, there are a lot of obstacles and challenges. It's not a smooth sail, I would say. So, what are the kind of early challenges did you face and how did you overcome them?
Frankly, I'd like to tell you, I had a beautiful analogy for my life with this life casting,
Okay.
and it has sailed me through every teething issue, or for that matter, any issue that could have ever come into, my streamline of work. The day I launched the art was the 11th day that my daughter was born.
Okay.
I decided and trained my mind to believe that I've given birth to twins.
Okay.
Now, as a mother, when you give birth to twins, you have two children that you have to give equal love to, equal importance to, equal enrichment to. So, as a mother, that inherent power rests with women.
Okay.
So, taking the whole thought process that I've actually given birth to twins, I don't think I faced any hardship. Every day was learning, every day was exciting, every day was enriching, every day was, giving me the motivation to go ahead. So
Okay.
yeah, I can't, I don't think I can be the one to say that I had lots of teething issues. No, it was just a mother bringing up a child. So that's how it went.
Okay. If you could cast anything, in history, probably in world history, what would you choose and why?
So I would love, absolutely. I mean, it's probably an answer that every girl has given at a beauty pageant level. Saying that I'd like to, emulate, Mother Teresa. But let me tell you, those are the hands I really miscasted. I
Okay.
wanted to cast her hands because she had the hands of a giver. I want to cast hers. And yes, another one that's on my radar, but will happen soon, is the Dalai Lama.
Oh, wow.
So yes, these two, yes.
Lovely. What's the most surprising reaction, when you've gifted the cast to your clients? You've casted so many celebrity kids. What is that one reaction which is truly satisfying and it satisfied your soul?
Seeing them be speechless.
Okay.
They don't have to say anything to me. They just have to look at, when they look at it, some have these happy tears in their eyes because they know that they have frozen a moment in their child's life
Right.
that they are going to cherish even when the child gets to be his own, master and a father later on in life. So I think sometimes, expressions and feelings translate much more than just words. So I like them being speechless. I like to soak in their reaction. So
Right.
that's really what I love.
Right. Do you see your art as an art, a legacy, or a storytelling?
I would definitely say it's legacy, because at the end of the day we are doing this for posterity.
Right,
We are doing this, when people do it for their children, maybe the undertone is definitely joy, it's love. But when you do it for, your elders, iconic people, that's legacy. You want their blessings to be there for generations to come, for people to seek inspiration from them. So I would firstly say legacy for sure. I would hold that close to my heart, legacy. But yes, it's definitely storytelling. I mean, why wouldn't you want to say a beautiful story about your child's, childhood, how you did it, a beautiful story about couples holding hands, how they fell in love, and how important it was to solemnize this relationship into a memento that they would cherish for their lives. So definitely, you can't keep storytelling away from emotions.
right. Was there a particular piece which you thought, it can probably outlive all of us?
There are many I've done, of inspirational people. I do not want to single out one,
Right.
but they will outlive and people will remember them as, things that they can seek inspiration from, seek blessings from. Many such people that I've casted in my journey, many such.
Okay. If I see Bhavna Jasra 5 years down the line, I'm sure you've set certain targets for yourself, certain goals for yourself. Where do I see you 5 years down the line?
I will definitely be doing a lot of art, but not really personal commissions, because that's the next part of my journey.
Okay.
I've done a lot of personal art, personal commissions, when people have come to me saying, I want to do it for my child, I want to do it as a couple, I want to do blessing hands of my parents, all of that. But I want to do art, of course, staying in the genre of life casting, because that's something I love. But I want to do art for people's homes, for people's office spaces, for hotels, for, just spaces where people enjoy art.
Okay.
So I want to do live casting, but not personalized commissions, just beautiful expressions of hand, feet, of the body that you can put out in these spaces and enjoy it in the true art form.
Also, I want to know if your art could speak, what would it say?
It would say, I've lived the moment and I'm
Lovely.
going to cherish it forever.
Wow, nice one. There are a lot of people, there are a lot of youngsters, in fact, the youth of today, they have a different ideology, they have different mindsets. But if today you had to give a message to them, a positive message from your side, what would that be?
Yeah. Sure. So, as far as advice in terms of career goes, because see, I launched a career form which was completely out of the normal streamline.
Right,
It was not jewelry designing, it was not clothes designing, it was not interior decoration. That people knew what the process is about.
right,
So, whenever you pick a career path which is offbeat, it requires you to be many people.
right,
You have to be a creative person, because obviously that's the art form, but you also have to be a great marketeer.
right,
Being a great creative person is of no use if you're not able to market your art,
right,
and you're able to put it out there. So you have to be a great communicator, you have to be a great orator, because you have to speak well and make people understand what the art form is about. And of course, you have to be a great creative person. So you have to be many people in one. So it's really something that you have to rise up to being. And I would not say it's harder, but I would say it requires a lot of you
right.
to be that person. Now, as far as an advice goes, about to the youngsters about how they would take to my art form, many a times I've encountered, people, when I've spoken to them and said, yeah, but, oh, like holding my husband's hand and doing this, it's a bit too filmy or a bit too cringy, right? But
Mm.
what I want to tell them is you have to treat this as a beautiful memento in your house, which is going to be a constant reminder, of the love that you share, of the, vows that you've taken when you've gotten married. It's going to be a very solid reminder that your relationship is for keeps and for a lifetime. So I would say that the art form has a lot to teach. So look at it like that. Money can buy a lot of art that we can just put into our house and never be attached to it. But my art form is an art with a heart. So you don't only have to look at it as an art, but you have to look at it as an art with a heart.
Okay. Uh, how do you balance technical perfections with human imperfections in real with your art form?
Human imperfections are actually the beauty of my art form.
Okay.
Now, when we take an impression, say, of a child, he's not going to pose his fingers just the way you would like it.
Right.
He will curl them softly. Maybe, the thumb will be pressed inside, and there will be a natural expression. And, so many times I've done impressions of children, and when I've given the final product to the parents, they've actually said this to me. Oh my God, that's exactly how he keeps his hands. You
Right.
know?
Right.
So I think human imperfections are beauty. You have
Right.
to start learning to appreciate them. That's the way it is. And I think what is perfectionism? There's no place for it.
Right.
Everybody is perfect in their own way. There is no cliched perfectionism. It's really how you view it.
You've casted so many things, but I'm saying, was there a moment in your life, I'm sure you must have thought you didn't want to give it or part away with it. Did that ever occur to you?
See, I've always made, castings for parents to see the joy in their eyes, to see the happiness in their lives.
Right.
So holding on to that, I would say for me I cannot imagine that. No, I make my art to give it to the people to give them happiness.
Right.
So there's nothing that I want to keep. Yes, I'm happy that I have my impressions of my family, my daughter, my parents. That's happiness for me. I have to keep that. Everybody has to keep and enjoy their own.
Right. Today, if Bhavna Jasra had a legacy, which she would like, people to remember her by, what would that legacy stand by?
It's one person who launched a creative concept for the first time in the country. Nobody had ever heard of it. They
Right.
had no clue. I went through a process, one of educating, then marketing, then selling. So
Right.
my legacy would be definitely that I am India's first casting artist.
Right.
And the beauty is that after 23 years of doing what I do, I still am in the first place.
Lovely. Okay, so that makes me come to my fun segment. This is a rapid fire round, just to know you more
Yeah.
personally. So these are going to be quick answers from your side. So the
Yeah.
first one would be, what is your favorite holiday destination where you go to unwind?
So, very honestly, there are many, but I'm really, really biased towards London
Okay,
because it's one city that offers everything. It
okay,
has, beautiful places to go and enjoy. You could go a little bit on the outskirts. I would say UK maybe because you have the outskirts. You could go to Cotswold, you could go to Derby, you could go to Kent. There are lots of beautiful places around. In the city, London, amazing restaurants, the best of the world, great shopping. What more can you ask for?
okay, nice. If your art had a dating profile, what would be the tagline?
Oh my God. I guess I guess art with a heart.
Art with the heart, nice one. What is the biggest oops moment for you when you were casting?
So this one I want to tell you, it can't be summarized in a short,
Okay,
answer. It will be a little explanation, but
right,
you'll enjoy it. I
right,
bet you on that.
right,
So I was actually, summoned to do Prime Minister Modi's impressions. And, the protocol was explained to me. And I went there and I explained everything to him that, we'll be putting the material and this is how you have to place your hand. And there was a gentleman standing right next to him who said, Modi ji, ye to Congress ka hath banwa rahi hai. Because it was a puppet.
okay.
And yes, so that was a big oops moment. But if I did really give them the right answer, him, I actually saw him flinching his hand. Because
Okay.
that's true, right?
Yeah,
You win with a thumping
yeah,
majority. You are
yeah.
from the BJP. Why would you want to cast a symbol which is of the Congress?
Right.
And I quickly rebutted, that statement by telling Prime Minister that I said, sir, ये आपके साथ है. इन्होंने तो कांग्रेस का हाथ ही नहीं देखा. कांग्रेस का हाथ होता है ऐसे, उंगलियां जुड़ी हुई होती है। मैं आपका खुला आशीर्वाद देने वाला हाथ बनवा रही हूं। आप डालिए, आप क्या इनकी सुन रहे हैं? And he immediately, with great confidence, looked at the gentleman and he said, "ये आजकल की नारी है, सोच समझ के बात किया करो." And he put his hand and we managed to get his impression. So it was an oops moment, which we actually turned into a fan moment.
But I think that would be so inspiring also, getting a hand cast of the Honorable Prime Minister of India. That would have been such a
Yes,
big
absolutely,
moment in your life
absolutely.
as well. So,
Yes,
so
yes.
kudos to you, first of all, for that. Uh,
Thank you.
so now I want to ask you, what is your guilty pleasure while working?
Oh my God. Please don't ask me this. My guilty pleasure while working is traveling.
Okay.
I love to travel. And hence, there are so many cities, which we didn't even decide initially that we want to visit because, you to travel, there are overheads and it takes off time from productive work here in Mumbai and the other regular cities that I travel to routinely. But my guilty pleasure is traveling. So if I get a call from a city like Guwahati and it gives me an opportunity, to go and see a new city, meet new people, maybe savor the local delicacies, wear, the local outfit. Yeah, it's guilty pleasure for sure. Travel.
One celebrity you'd be really wanting to work with in today's generation.
I'll be very honest with you. I have never ever looked at anybody who's come as a subject as a celebrity.
Okay.
They've all come because they were fathers who wanted it for their kids, or couples who wanted it to, solemnize their love, or children who wanted a blessing hands for their parents. So, all of the people who the world deems as celebrities really never came to me as celebrities. They all came to me as normal people who wanted this beautiful craft for their home to cherish for a lifetime.
Right.
But like I had mentioned earlier in my discussion, there are people that I would have, I enjoyed, even thinking that I would get an opportunity to do with them. One was Mother Teresa, which I've lost, but Dalai Lama coming up soon.
Nice. What is your current favorite read?
Honestly, I'm not much of a reader, but whenever I pick up, a chance and I want to read a little bit, then I definitely read something which is more spiritual, because I think that it gives you a lot of clear thought process. We are people who are a lot into the fast pace of life, where a lot of fiction happens in our own lives, a lot of fun, romance, laughter, challenges, all that is happening in our own lives, to read
Yeah.
books to get more stuff from that. But I think spiritual guidance is something that is something I personally enjoy a lot. And whenever I can get my hand on, say, an autobiography of a yogi, or something, I want to read that. I want a little bit of spiritual enlightenment and happiness. Yes.
Something which still needs to be ticked off from your bucket list.
Oh, there are many. There are many. I'm an
Okay, name
adrenaline
name name name
junkie.
three.
So I love adventures. Okay, I mean, maybe bungee jumping, because that's something I've done eons before. People even thought. I've done cliff diving. I've done
Okay.
zip lining, and all of this like a good 10, 12 years ago, when it wasn't even that
Right.
popular
Right.
with a lot of people. But for my 500K, I actually went to the base camp of the Everest,
Oh, wow.
and but of course I used the chopper. But
Right.
that is something I'm going to do. I'm going to trek to the base camp of the Everest.
Right.
That's something, when I have a little more leisure, I'm going to plan and do it. So
Nice.
that's a very top on the bucket list.
Your go-to motto.
My go to motto is always plan your time.
Right.
Time management is the key for everything. The
Right.
day I'm able to, put everything down in priority, what I want to do, I'm able to do it. So,
Right.
motto is for me time management.
I
Plan
think,
your day, plan your life, plan your moment,
right.
plan.
I couldn't agree to you also because a lot of people come up to me and, they ask me, we don't get time to exercise. We don't get time to, do all the
Plan,
things which they want.
plan.
But
Plan.
yeah, so it's as you said, everything has its right time and you have to plan it
Yes,
well. So
yes.
I couldn't
And
agree
you have
more
to
with you.
prioritize.
Yeah,
If you think exercising is your priority, you will find time for it. If
right,
you think spending time with your family is priority, you will find time for it.
right,
Everybody works. Work cannot be an excuse to take you away. The day I want to watch a movie with my friends, I find time. The day
right,
I want to take off for lunch with my friends, I find time. The
right,
day I want to travel with my family, for a family commitment or just a little holiday, I find time.
right,
Plan, plan, plan.
right. What is the one difference according to you between the millennials and the Gen Zs of today?
I'm feeling, see, I also have, a Gen Z in my own home,
Mm,
but I really feel that as the time is passing, the generation is getting more and more practical and losing a little bit of an emotional connect. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Maybe the times that they are living in, it serves their purpose to be the person that they are.
right,
And because we came from a little slower time where
right,
emotions were everything,
right,
and we got swayed with it, did some things which today, we might seem that why did I do it, but we did it then because there was a little bit of an emotional undertone from our parents or friends. We did it. I think, very honestly, everybody adapts. This is evolution.
right,
You will adapt to the times. You will become the person that you should, which is suited well for the time and generations that you're living in. So whether you're a millennial, whether you're a Gen Z, whether you're a baby boomer,
mm,
whatever, you lived the best to the time that you had to survive in. So yeah, I think we should just give them credit for adapting well. And it's just what I call evolution.
right. According to you, when you have to rate this in order, Bhavna the mother, Bhavna the entrepreneur, Bhavna the friend, what would you rate it and how?
Bhavna the mother is always on top.
Okay,
There is absolutely no doubt about it that any other thing would, even come close to being Bhavna the mother.
okay,
And Bhavna the friend, I would say, of course, because I'm very loyal by nature. I'm loyal. I believe in loyalty. I like loyalty. That I think is a very big virtue. And Bhavna the entrepreneur is what I am, what I breathe, what I live, what I do. So yeah, I don't know if I can put it in any order, but Bhavna the mother will always come on top.
okay. And my last rapid fire question would be, if someone had to make a biopic on your life, on your story, who do you think would play the best character?
Oh my God. Honestly, I don't think I have reached the point where somebody should make a biopic on me, or I don't want to glorify myself so much, for that. I think there are far greater people and far more important peoples whose lives need to get out there, and people need to see them, learn from them, get inspiration from them. I honestly, I haven't even given it a thought. There are far more greater people, and I think we should really think about them.
No, but if I had to answer that, I would say Bhavna Jasra herself would play herself the best, because
Well, yes.
yeah,
Who better? Who
yeah,
better knows her life better?
exactly, and you have so much positiveness and so much energy,
There's
it's
no other way to be. There's no other
exactly,
way to be.
exactly. And yeah. So thank you so much, Bhavna. That was a lovely chat with you, just knowing insights on your journey. And I'm sure everyone watching us today also would have been inspired. It's a different trade, different industry, but you've shown people that nothing is different. It's all about hard work, perseverance, and consistency, which you've shown. So thank you so much again for this podcast and this chat, and hope to see you on the other side really soon again.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. It was such a pleasure talking to you. And it's always so beautiful to talk about my journey. I really enjoy it. And yes, goodbye to all the viewers. And please do follow me on Instagram. There's a lot of interesting stuff we routinely put, inspirational, about my work, about my lifestyle. You'll enjoy it.
All right. Thank you once again, Bhavna. See you.
Yes.